Okay, lesson 4, images. This is a pretty big lesson because you're going to be using images a lot. It's a website. Images are pretty much, I'd say 50%, if not more, of what the internet is. That's why Google has an image search. So adding images to your web page is pretty simple, but how you manipulate those images is going to determine how cool of a website you have. So let's first talk about adding images. I would read all of this stuff. All of this stuff is important to read, but just dealing with the code, here's your image code. So I'm going to hit Control Copy. Make sure you have the web notes open. So now under here, I hit Control V. I'm going to add my line break. Hit File, save it, and then open this with Google Chrome. So now there's the file. There's the image code, but there's no image there. That's because I did not place the image here within this folder. So now we're going to talk about your local files and having things where they should be. So right now I have web notes saved in assignment 6. What I don't have in here is the image files. I don't have, basically what I should have, I shouldn't put this in a folder called assignment 6. I should put this in a specific folder for web notes. So I'm just going to do that within assignment 6 because that's going to be the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to hit new folder. Okay, and I'm going to call the new folder my web page. You can call it my web page too, right? Now I'm going to get rid of that so that way it doesn't open. I'm also going to close my notepad. Okay, I'm going to take my web notes. I'm going to hit Control X. I'm going to open my web page and I'm going to put Control V. So now my web notes is in here. So now I'm going to open this with my notepad, and then I'm going to open this also back up in my Google Chrome. Okay. Now in this folder, I was where I want to put the picture. So I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to save the image as, okay, and it's woman.gif. So I want to point that out looking at the code, woman.gif, lowercase because punctuation is going to matter, capitalization is going to matter. So woman.gif, woman.gif. Okay. Now if I just click save, it is not going to the right place, so we don't want that. We go to where I just made that folder. So there's my web page, and I'm going to save woman.gif. So I go back to my site, and there's the broken image. When I hit refresh, I'm going to close this. When I hit refresh, there's woman.gif. Okay. Now this can be done with any image. So like for instance, if I wanted this abomination on my page, I right click, I can save this image as, right? And this is the name that this website gave that picture of that abomination. That's not a useful name. Okay, so I would say abomination. and it's a JPEG. So notice this is JPEG. So we save it, and if I go back to my thing, it's abomination.jpg. That's JPEG versus GIF, which is GIF. So now let's say I want to show my abomination instead of the woman.gif. I would say abomination.jpg. Now if I leave the width and the height 32, I'll show you what will happen. There's the abomination, really small, 32 by 32. So let's get rid of the width and the height. Let's not control the width and the height. So if I hit save, now huge. So actually on that page, the whole thing, not just a card, was the picture. That's not important, okay? Now I'll show you how to fix that if I just wanted the card, which is a good lesson, but we'll do that in another lesson. So this is now the size of this picture. So it's the same. See here, it's actually been made smaller. So they used their web page to make this smaller to fit, because if you look, it's bigger on my page than it is on theirs. So this is the actual size here on my page. They shrunk theirs down for their website to fit into this box. And they, you just do it the same way that we just did. So when you come into your code, you can say, okay, width and height. So width and height was 32 by 32, and it was really small. We don't want that. Oh, excuse me. So, I mean, if I wanted to say width equals, let's say 600. Actually, let's say 400. Now, this is going to be pixels. And then height equals 600. Let's file, save, and then refresh that. Bam. So it's skewed now because I didn't actually look at how that would look like. I just threw two numbers in there. But you have your 600 by 400. Okay. So now probably to make it look prettier, so it doesn't look so crazy, I would change this to 600 as well. And hit file, save, refresh. Okay, it looks a little bit better. Now, I'll leave it like that because it's not a big deal. But this is the process when you're doing web design. Okay, you're going to make a little change to your code. You're going to refresh, see what it looks like. Make a little change to your code, refresh, see what it looks like. That's how you're going to do your web page. I mean, that's how web pages are done. Little changes, and then see what you get. So now you have your, so we added a picture, and that's what I want you to do. Make sure, I don't want to see the woman.gif. That's boring. Add your own picture. So I'm going to leave Mr. Abomination there. But then you can align your pictures left, center, right. So let's go ahead and do that. This is the code for that. So let's just add that in. So if I hit file, save, now we saved woman.gif in there. So it will just use woman.gif now. We won't get that broken image. That only happens if the image is not in there. But since we saved it, there it is. There's left, center, and right. So now you have, now if you want to add text, okay, you want to put a little comment, maybe you're making a meme web page, I don't know. But there's several reasons that you want to have words next to your image. So here's the image code, right? Bam. That's the image code. The image code is the same. Image source equals hand.gif. There's hand.gif. And then after it, it's going to say this hand is very big. So right next to it, it says this hand is very big. So let's say you want those words to the top. Then you would say align top. Okay, so observe the difference here. The image and the code says align top. So now everything is aligned to the top. Okay, align center. Now it's aligned to the center. So it's going to take this text code with it. Okay, it puts them together when you put them together like that. So let's just add that. And let's save image as hand.gif. And for the sake of just being expeditious about it, let's do all of it at the same time. So now you'll see this one's a little bit different. Image source hand GIF align top, right? So why is it not up here? Because they have line break clear all. So you're telling the computer, I don't want it to align to this top, I want it to align to the top of the next line. So this would be the top of, so as you see up here, right? Here, okay, here's the one. So it says align top, right? So it says align top, this hand is big. Okay, so your image goes into one space, and then because we didn't put a line break, there's no line break here, okay, it's gonna go to the top of the image. Okay, so it looks at the top of the image and it puts it there. But then down here, okay, you did put a line break. Okay, so you're saying align top, right? So right away align top is going to make it come over here, align to the top of the image, but you didn't put the words there. You said line break, there it is, clear all. Okay, this hand is big. So now you're saying don't go to this line, go underneath. You're literally saying create a line, clear everything on this side, that's what that means, and then put the words over here. Okay, so this is how you manipulate things if you want the words to go right underneath your image. And I'm gonna add another line break at the end. Okay, so I hit file, save, refresh, bam. Okay, so I don't have their nice blue boxes to make it look different, but if I select things, you'll see that it works. Right, so this is the first one. This hand is very big. This is the align top one. This is the align center, and then you have the one where it's at the bottom, because you don't just put bottom. Bottom ain't gonna work for you. If you wanted to get it underneath the picture, you have to put exactly what it says here. Align to the top of the next line, okay, and clear all on this side. Okay, so that's what this is doing. Now it's at the top of the next line. Now if you didn't do it that way, so let's play with this stuff. Okay, so if I decided not to have let's duplicate this, right? So if I say control copy, just so you can see the difference. Let's say I was going to try and do this without doing it the right way. So now I don't align top. Okay. I don't line break clear all. That's going to give you this one over here, right? We don't want that either. So now let's say I try to cheat, right? And I put my line break after my image, and then I put my words. Let's see what that gives you. Boom! It worked, right? So it worked. So that's another way to do it, but here's the deal, okay? This only worked because I don't have anything else on my page. I already know this. This worked because I don't have anything else on my page. So if I was in a situation where, let's say I was trying to put multiple images, a string of images, if I had some sort of table or grid, okay, which will more likely be the case. More likely you're going to have a lot of stuff going on. So if you go to like a regular website, is Khan Academy working? Yeah. Okay, this is a good example. So I got Khan Academy over here. They got a lot going on, right? So you're normally going to have a web page where if you see on the left side they got a menu over here, on the right side they got things over here, inside things they have multiple things going on. Okay, that's a normal website. That's how things are going to look. Okay, even on this page you have text, you have ordered lists, you have other things going on. Well, I don't have anything else going on. This is all white blank space. Well, if I try to do this with something else going on, it would not work. It would start getting a little kooky. Now I could create a situation to show you what that looks like, but I don't want to do that. That's a lot of work. Just take my word for it, okay, that this is the code that you're going to want to make sure that this hand is big goes underneath hand.gif in this scenario. Okay, this other way will only work if you have nothing else on the page. So I'm going to delete that because I don't want you guys to develop bad habits. Trust me, later on when you're doing CSS, when you're doing other things, you don't want to be using faulty code. Okay, so make sure you use the real code. Alright, so save that. We'll refresh that so it doesn't show up. Okay, good. Now, let's go back to the tutorial. Now, this, oh, excuse me. Now, alternate text is the last piece of this. I'm going to tell you alternate text is not that big of a deal. But if for some reason hand.gif is not showing up, okay, you put the alternate text big hand to tell people what it is. Okay, so if for some reason your picture is not showing up because the image isn't there, or you know some craziness has occurred on your web page, you'll put alternate text, and that's supposed to tell the person what it is. They might also have a firewall blocking the image and all that. I mean, you can do it. It's not that big of a deal. I'm also going to tell you, most people don't care. So if your image, if I'm doing something, if I have a firewall or something on my page keeping your image from showing up because I don't want to download images, I don't want to save cookies, etc., then I don't care about your image. That's why I have the firewall up. If something is wrong on my web page and that's why it's not coming up, I don't need alternate text. I need to fix the problem, because people aren't going to read the alternate text. They really aren't. Okay, so alternate text, we're going to put the code there so you know what it is, and there might be a situation in the future if you're a web designer or something. But if I put hand.gif, because I have hand.gif, it's not going to give me the alternate text. So if I want the alternate text, I have to purposefully mess it up by putting the wrong name of the thing. But I'm just, telling you, in the real world, if your image doesn't work, people aren't going to read, oh, big hand, that's what that's supposed to be. Ha ha ha. They don't care. They're going to say, oh, this website's broken, and they're going to leave your site. So if you have a situation where your image isn't working, fix the problem. don't put alternate text and think that you've solved the problem.